Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II, World at War. Last episode, Poland fell, and I cried about it because I realized I probably could have made them last for another turn at least. But with that slip up, I've doubled down on my efforts pretty much all around the world and outlined a lot of my plans going forward. And so with that, we are going to hit end turn and see what the Axis has in store for us this turn. So Germany celebrates victory over Poland, the return of Danzig. Yes, I'm sad. French morale suffers from the fall of Poland. Yes, I'm sorry and I'm sad. And decision. The First Lord of the Admiralty, Winston Churchill, is pressing for us to occupy 2 ports in Ireland to provide the Royal Navy with bases in the coming struggle to protect our shipping from the U-boat attack. These would be along the south coast of Ireland, where until last year we had naval bases in accordance with the Anglo-Irish Treaty signed in 1921. Ireland lacks the military capability to prevent us from reoccupying the treaty ports, but there would be a political reaction against us both there and in America were we to do so. However, as well as being of some strategic benefit, a bold and decisive move like this would boost our national morale. Okay, would you like to order the Royal Navy to occupy the ports of Cork and Waterford? If you say yes, the ports will switch to our control for the use of our ships, though they would return to Irish control should Ireland enter the war. The political reaction in Ireland of doing this will move it 10 to 15% towards the Axis, and America will move 4 to 6% away from the Allies. On the other hand, this decisive action will increase British national morale by 1,000 points, and the use of these ports will certainly be useful later on. Okay, I'm going to say no. I don't think that 1,000 morale points is worth it. The UK's morale is at like 98, 99% I think right now. I think it's only missing like 1,000 or 100 or whatever anyway. So I don't think we need that. And I prefer to stop Ireland from entering the Axis side. And if we don't push the Allies, America, away, then they get to make more money. So that's what I want. So I am not going to do this historical action. I am going to leave it. The UK has more than enough ports. Axis raiders are still disrupting our convoys with South Africa. Nothing we can really do about that unless we find them. Let's see. So now China's getting plus 60 trade via the railway. And America's not actually losing anything from it. So that was a 91 time payment to get 60 every turn. Although at the cost, maybe eventually, of Indochina. Sad face. Oh well. That's fine to me. It's fine by me. Let's see how the Axis plan on messing us up. Because it's probably not too hard with fighting me. Alright. So already they're doing a lot of air raids. Did I not reinforce those fighters? Well, I certainly hope they do well, because it looks like I forgot to reinforce them. Looks like they upgraded that unit on the border, the Japanese. What are you gonna do next, sirs? Yeah, I gotta get those tanks and everything out of there. Maybe replace them with garrisons. They're attacking me, failing to do much. Oh, they just now did some damage to me with some elite units. The more they lose here, the better. We have a long-term point generation advantage over them. And the Axis as a whole. The more we can prevent them from taking, the better. That's why I really... Especially with how... What is that unit? I don't know what that unit is. Maybe Slovakia. With how poorly we did with Poland, I don't know if I can hold France, but I really want to try. New Zealand has joined the war, so that's more points for the UK. That's good. We disrupted Norway, Germany convoys. Good, good, good. We have to hurt them like they hurt us. That's the way to do it. Is that about it? Okay. Germany lost 11, 4, 8, and 7 from all the different raids we're doing. In order to decrease Leningrad's vulnerability to attack from the north, to weaken the Finnish army, it suggested we force Finland to hand over some territory to us. We can demand the Karelian Isthmus, the area north of Leningrad, and the port of Hanko to the west. Would you like to force Finland to transfer them to our control? Though our relationship with both the Allies and Sweden will suffer slightly from doing this, it will not cost us anything, and if we are successful, the territory should become ours by early 1940. The only thing that could prevent us from succeeding against Finland would be if an Anglo-French expedition were to arrive in time to support the Finns. By saying yes, should Finland later join the Axis, then some of her units will start at half strength rather than full strength, though with 1 experience point rather than just half a point. We will later have an opportunity to prepare the Red Army for winter warfare, and if you say yes to attacking Finland, then the lessons learned from fighting the Finns will reduce the cost at that time of preparing our soldiers for winter warfare. So, perform the disastrous winter war at the cost of some MPP generation, but weakening the Finns and saving MPPs at preparing our soldiers for winter warfare, something that was vital for the Soviets learning from their past mistakes in fighting the Germans. Sure. Let's say yes to that. And China has gained another corps, and now it is our turn. So now that in America we've gotten that fighter up to strength, I'm actually probably not going to reinforce anything else for right now or do anything. I'm going to save the points because I'm realizing researching industrial technologies in America could help make them just even stronger in the long run, as well as they might need some other researchers. So basically, I'm just going to hold on to their points for right now. India has some more MPPs for me to spend. So I think I'm gonna spend them on production technology and get that researching. Research goes so slow anyway. This would help reduce the unit costs for any Indians we pump out in the future. So that could be worth it. Currently at 100% mobilization. We're not gonna get too much better from here without more industrial modifier, which might come from that Indie tech, I imagine. Maybe among other things. Everyone has different starting values with this, but that pretty much takes care of India. With the USSR, I gained less points than I thought I would. Might be because of the season, but I have just enough to start researching infantry weapons, which is what I wanted, because I want to get these kinds of upgrades on my units, because I'm realizing how important it's going to be for such an infantry-heavy country like the USSR. So we're going to get that research spending right now, which makes them broke for the time being, but should hopefully come in handy. Let's go look at the French side of things. So we can get the armies in position finally to make the swap. They still need to be reinforced, however, and then they need to actually, you know, make the swap from there. But I'll just get them into position for right now, and then we'll reinforce them, and then we'll make the swap after. That might not be the most efficient way of doing it, but I'm new to the game and nothing I'm doing is efficient, and I accept that. Now that things are kind of calming down a little bit over here, let's see. So yeah, UK isn't even missing 1,000. They're only missing 80. Yeah. France is now missing a bit, unfortunately, but hopefully the Brits being there will help them recover this. That's my goal. I mean, I put all these air units over there too, so hopefully that contributes. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and reinforce this fighter to max. That's going to cost 27. We're going to go reinforce this battleship to max, so that I can actually deploy the Navy starting next turn. We are now dealing with 60 more points still, and we have a attack bomber squadron that we could raise up. We can only get it up +4 right now, or we can also go ahead and upgrade this HQ a little bit more. This is probably more immediately pressing, so I'm going to go ahead and put 3 more points into this HQ, so its bonuses, which I believe are mostly supply, may also contribute to morale and readiness. I'm really not sure. Can extend over here. Why is it providing a buff to Paris and not Metz? That's kind of annoying. Do they end up maybe getting another HQ? They do, in Paris. Okay, so that's going to be probably very, very handy then. For now, the only thing I'll do with the French fleet is take this submarine and go clog up this entryway with it, which there's a battleship sitting right there. We're probably not going to want to clog that up, and we're probably going to want to just sit in the Ionian Sea come the start of the war. We're not going to be able to do too much damage to enemies that are at port anyway, but we should be able to hopefully draw them into fighting the French fleet, which, you know, if France falls, we want the fleet to see as much fighting as possible, and if they live, well then hopefully some good things happen. Now, as for air movements, so our fighters appear to be like just out of range of directly engaging enemy fighters. We also don't really know what's waiting for us on the other side here, so that's unfortunate. But there is a certain amount of strikes and escorts that a fighter can undertake. Apparently that number is 0 when you're reinforcing. However, let's go ahead and take the British Strat bombers and send them to the test first. The Germans have a mine here on the border, which are providing them 14 MPPs every turn. I would like to do some damage to that. So let's go ahead and try to Strat bomb that. Alright, and then they send interceptors against us, but we have our own escorts. And so, oh my god, our fighters took a fair amount of damage. The Germans lost 4 MPPs from it, so it's now down to 10 MPP value. Okay. Their fighters took some damage, no idea how much. I cannot reinforce after an escort has been taken. So, the TAC bombers don't really show that they can get anything done. So I'm not going to use them at the moment. I'll just kind of leave them here. I'll say that was hopefully pretty decent. These are upgraded fighters, so hopefully their escort is decent, you know. Now up here on the land front, this corps is, the second corps is just sitting on a field. We're going to move that up to the city of Lille, or Lily, or however the fuck you say that. We're going to take the BEF army and move that up to Sedan itself. Ironically making it probably the most mobile force, but that's kind of what I want out of it. We're going to leave the French corps behind just as a fallback, because if the Brits are going to have to run, we're not doing it out of Dunkirk. I don't even know if we can do it out of Dunkirk. There's no fucking port here. We'd have to get to an actual port to escape, but I'm really hoping we won't have to escape. Even though I failed to accomplish anything productive with Poland, I'm hoping I can double down here and still accomplish something. Let's put some points into maxing out this headquarters. I think last turn I might have forgotten to move these British ships, which, you know, if I did, oopsie. I have a good idea of what I want to do with this rather versatile selection of ships, however. So let's see about setting that up. So we're going to have to cruise mode our way. We can probably cruise mode it and not worry, given the fact that this whole region is pretty much secure. So what do we have? All right, so this is a heavy cruiser. We're gonna go ahead and pop that bitch, let's say right over here for right now. There you go. Then we're gonna take this destroyer and pop it right in front of the cruiser, the heavy cruiser. I gotta stop right clicking and just accept the fact that it's gonna proceed when it's ready to proceed. Oh boy. We're gonna move up this way with the carrier, because I'm gonna make this fleet kind of sit around in the channel, because I want to test out how that provides support. I know there's German ships in their ports over here. I'm just kind of trying to lure them out, like bait them out and be able to respond whether they come from this direction or they come from the other direction. I might want to move further west a little bit, to be honest with this, but we'll look at that in a moment. For now, we are just moving this fleet up to be more of a channel fleet. Let's go. Alright, so they're moved up as far as I can get them for right now. Now for these ones, because I know they can come through here, but I also know they can come through here. So long as we blockade this, I guess it's not that much of a problem. We can put the carriers somewhere where they can hopefully kind of get more work done, maybe get some actual engagements in. Let's see about that. Let's move down here. So we're definitely in range of doing stuff from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There seems to be like a range of 4 hexes, which is not very good. Could come in handy when the Germans go and start invading the Netherlands, however. So I might want my carriers to be in an advantageous position to take advantage of things like that, ideally, right? So let's try and get them set up for that. So right now, we're already now in range of a fight. So that's good. So we don't want them we don't want anyone, technically, bordering the actual land. Because I believe we can get shot from land. I believe land units can hurt sea units very well. So let's move this carrier down. And we're going to focus on more of an actual blockade of this region more than anything else. Force them down a tunnel and then kind of spread our screens out a little bit better while leaving as much convoy rating as we possibly can up here. So I'm not sure if I want to send anything else around here. There could be something right here. Okay, well, there is not. Turns out, that's good. I still don't want to put anything too close to land, however, so I'm not going to. Except for up here for right now. So this destroyer is going to move down here to be a screen for the carriers. To protect it, I'm going to send a light cruiser just ahead for right now. We're going to take that off of its raiding mode. Anything that's on raiding mode that's not staying over there is no longer going to be on raiding mode, just in case there's any downsides that come with being on that. In fact, I can probably move you up here, quite frankly, and accomplish the same thing. And what else do we have here? Another... No, we want to move something else back. Something beefier, I'd say. Let's send a battleship down there. Let's send another battleship down there. We don't want anything that's worth a whole lot to be out here taking part in raiding and being susceptible to enemies. Send the battle cruiser down here. And so what we'll have here is a battle cruiser raiding alongside 2 heavy cruisers and a light cruiser. I believe you only need to be adjacent to the hex to raid it. So this battle cruiser staying protected by heavier forces and a destroyer. This also kind of weakens this area, so it might lure them out through here better than what I've been doing so far, while also now allowing me to kind of aerially respond to enemy forces here, which I could try to fly over with this carrier group right now, and, you know, we could see what happens. Actually, I think it looks like that X might mean that I can't raid them despite being in range. Maybe because there's neutral territory in between me and there. But at the very least, they're all in position. I can also set you onto raid mode as well. This British submarine down here cannot improve itself at all any further while down here, so it's going to need to probably go to a better port or something. So we're going to put this in cruise mode and I guess get it as close as we can. Just start moving towards the UK. I don't know if we can use allied ports for that or not. Maybe we'll test that next turn if I think about it. Looking at research for the UK, we're going to go put some points into industrial technology, 125, to get that moving along. So we're working on something productive in that realm. It's time, I think, to start allocating points elsewhere. So we're going to go ahead and max out everything. Okay, maybe not. I was going to say we're going to max out everything chilling in Egypt, but there's not enough supply to actually do that. However, maybe when we upgrade this UK HQ, that might increase the supply situation over here and allow us to upgrade things further. We have other things we can go ahead and reinforce, such as British Somaliland's garrison. That could be relevant for when Italy enters the war. There's the Sudan Defense Corps. 30 MPPs to raise that up. Sure, why not? There's an HQ back here. Holy crap. Well, we are down to only 36 points, so rather than upgrade that HQ or anything, I think we're just going to ignore it for now. And I don't believe I've missed anything. Oh, we have spotted. Ooh. That's interesting. An enemy ship of some kind. That's a German that's raiding us. Okay, so they actually mark this stuff when they start raiding. They make it visible. Isn't that interesting? Well, maybe I don't need to be leaving this sub over here. I like having this sub here, because then the sub is like blocking the Germans from coming through here and spotting, but I'd love to stop the raiding. Chance of ambushing German fleet, stopping raiding. How much damage is this doing to that convoy route? Oh, well, this convoy route's only worth 12, so it can't do very much damage at all. And they'd be stupid to leave this out here anyway. It's probably trying to come back to Germany for all I know. And if it is, it's going to run face first into our fleets, which are going to be dominating the area anyway. We'll have another sub ready to get on stuff like that soon anyway, so I'm not too concerned right now. I want to test the strategy I have right now more than anything, you know? So what we have now instead is our time to look at China. I always save them for last. Let's go ahead and reinforce this. We have not done that, I believe, the turn before, and if we did, It wasn't good for much. Their readiness and morale is super low because they keep getting dragged into shit. I don't think they can escort at all this turn because I've reinforced them. We did suffer some losses to the north due to the Japanese bringing in an elite force. Unfortunately, there's certainly no damage we can do there. We're slightly entrenched. Slightly. So we're just going to reinforce. China has bodies if it has anything. Just to the south of that, these corps and the one army here are entrenching in the mountains, which will hopefully come in handy. At the very least, they're in what would be potentially a good fallback line from up here. We shouldn't need to do that. I don't think the Japanese have enough troops to even focus. I mean, look at how limited the Japanese actually look right now. I don't think they can really accomplish much of anything. They'd have to try really, really hard. I know we have some reinforcements to do. Number one, for this corps, that's going to be taking these defensive positions that we are currently creating just to the northeast here. And we took a little bit of casualties right here. So we're going to replenish that, and we're just kind of keeping them at bay. They are burning units attacking us, and that's, I guess, the way we want to keep it. There are some spots where we could potentially make some progress, but I feel like as the allies, we need to hold our own, especially as China. We outnumber the enemy, we outproduce the enemy, we just have to hold our own and survive. But I kind of see some opportunities popping up. I'm going to take these units that I put here to try to get them entrenched. I'm actually going to move them down here to the Kulin Pass as kind of a rear defensive unit in this area where I see some enemies bulking up. But I also noticed that there's not a lot of them, but there's an entire HQ here, meaning this is a pretty weak location. And I want to have enough troops over here to capitalize should anything happen. Not to mention, just to the north here at Henyang, we're looking at an occupied town that's occupied by a garrison. Seems pretty weak should we want to take advantage of it. But right now, I'm just focused on holding off and simply letting them grind themselves away on my units. And with our new core we've gotten for China, I have a bit of a ballsy move I'm thinking of here. I think if we forward deploy it in this southern region as well, then we have another core and even more potential over here to really, really mess with the Japanese and maybe scare them. Maybe. However, when these deploy, their readiness and morale, I think, is only at half. So it's maybe not the best idea. So to kind of put it in the same area for support anyway, I'll put it back at these fortifications that the other unit was just at. Just in case the extra manpower down there does become handy. And that's pretty much going to be my entire turn. And we actually still have a decent amount of time left. So you know what? Screw the format. Let's just do as much as I can fit into one video, huh? So long as it's one segment, right? Let's go ahead and hit end turn right now and see the Axis turn and just end it with that. So let's see, we already have a decision. For the French, there are tens of thousands of Spanish Republicans living in internment camps in the south of France. Some of these have already enlisted in the Foreign Legion, but we could make use of many more by using them to assist in the work of improving our fortifications. Although many of these exiles are political undesirables, putting them to work would enable us to get some use out of them while also helping improve our country's defenses. At the cost of 50 MPPs, from the men held in the internment camps, we could raise a half-strength engineer unit in Perpignan in the southwest. It would then need to be moved north so we could commence work on constructing fortifications facing possible German lines of advance. Would you like to authorize the recruitment of Spanish Republicans to serve as engineers? Let's see. France made use of the large number of Spanish Republican exiles who were living in the camps in southern France, enlisting them in labor battalions to improve their defenses. By saying yes to do this, France may be able to construct a fortification in time to be of use against the Axis invaders, maybe more if the enemy offensive stalls. It will be best to operate it from southern France to a suitable place for it to set to work, such as near Paris. If all else fails, then this unit can at least serve a role in plugging a hole in the line, so it would be wise to say yes to this. Yeah, I was going to say, 50 MPPs for an engineer. I looked at engineers. They're like 200. And even if it's like 1-to-1 per strength for like or 10-to-1, I guess, it would be 100 once we reinforce it at most, I guess. So that's a great deal. 50 MPPs coming out of our next paycheck. Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'll take that. I'll gladly take that. And they raid the convoys, but it's okay. Yeah, what do they get out of it? They got like 1. They get 1 out of it. Who cares? Yeah. Forming engineer unit. Cool. So that's going. China just getting money poured into it. India pouring money into the UK. India is the biggest gain for the UK out of everything. So I think it's pretty nice that I went ahead and brought India into the war at the historical time. That's what I think. Now let's see how the Axis kicks my ass and shows me I have no idea what I'm doing this turn. Well, to be honest, they didn't do that last turn. I'm still just reeling from Poland. Alright, so escorts are happening, or they're just directly targeting my air. But we have some more air engagements, and we are holding the line. No losses other than from the air unit on our side at the moment. They are operating some units. Did they just operate those fighters? I don't know. They operated something. Oh. Oh, they just naval bombed that submarine. Shit. And now they are running massive air raids along the Maginot, nearby it, and into France in general. We have some back and forth fighting on China, but we're trading even or like killing more than we're losing, which is wonderful considering we have the MPP advantage as the allies. Or we should, anyway. We disrupt their convoys. USSR invades Finland, yep. Soviet aggression against Finland causes widespread anger in the West. Unsurprised. Welcome to the Second World. It's hardly different today. And there you go. That brings us to our next turn. They could have raided anything if they wanted to. It does bother me a bit that they ended up getting the submarine. I'm actually just gonna say, fuck it. I'm gonna bring the submarine out, bring it to a port. I'm gonna repair that submarine when I can repair the submarine. And then I guess I might just send it out after German ships along my convoy lines. I'd rather than the submarine just taking damage for no good reason. You know, these ships might suffer the same fate, but they're in the fleet. I kind of expect that of them. And even if German ships slip through here, where are they gonna go, you know? Maybe try to surround this, that's fine. I'll smash them from the rear. Try to get out to the North Sea and do what? They're gonna have the whole British fleet chasing after them, so I'm not too concerned about that. But that is all we have time for this episode. So, I hope you guys are enjoying the series, and we will continue this over on the next episode.